Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us and for supporting us in our first ever virtual reception. My name is Rosalie Diaz, and I'm the staff liaison to the Gresham Art Committee, and I support in administrative tasks, but the actual committee members do all the magic. So I'm just going to hand it off to Leo for introductions, and we'll get started here shortly. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leo Hartshorn. I am the co-chair of the Gresham Art Committee, and I am the co-curator of this show, along with the lead curator, Juan Tran. I want to welcome you all on behalf of the Gresham Art Committee. Welcome all the members, the artists who are part of the show, and friends and family who might be a part of this meeting as well, which is our first virtual art reception. Due to the COVID outbreak, after we hung this show, the public buildings were closed, and so we didn't have that opportunity to get together, and we wanted to do that, and this provides an opportunity for us not only just to have a mingling situation, but we were able to look at each individual piece of artwork and to talk about it and let the artists share some things about their artwork. So this is new, but it also might be more in depth than a regular reception. This particular show was entitled I Am From, and the theme of this show, I used a quote from a German playwright and poet, Bertolt Brecht, which he said that if art reflects life, it does so with special mirrors. And I use that mirror idea to talk about the different aspects of life that get reflected in art, such as our background, our interests, our style, our place. All of those things become mirrors through which art reflects who we are, where we are from. So I Am From becomes more than just a place, but it becomes all that we are reflected through that art. So that is the theme, and it opens up a wide variety of ways that we can look at these pieces of art. So we're glad that people have been able to submit their artwork, and we're looking forward to hearing from the artist and viewing together these various pieces of art. So I'm waiting on Barbara Solomon. She's going to do this slideshow. I don't have access to that, so is she coming back on?
Leo, I'll be there in just a minute. I'm just finishing up. So
okay.
How many guests do we have? Oh, we have 13. Terrific. Okay, I'll be right there.
Okay. So she will lead us through this virtual reception, and we'll look at each one of the pieces, and hopefully we'll have some people who can comment on the various pieces of artwork that are part of this show.
Okay. Great. Okay, I'm back, everybody. I apologize for some technical difficulties, but welcome, and we'll share our screen. Now, one of the artists who is the very first one, I got an email that he won't be able to join us till about 6. So he'll come in a little bit later. So we'll have to start with the next one, Leo. I'm going to mute myself and I'll turn the slideshow on.
So that first one is Simeon Bassett.
Okay, folks, so what I'm going to do, and thanks for hanging in with us because this is our first time doing this. And let's see, Melissa and Denise, are you both muted?
No, I'm not muted.
Okay, maybe you guys should mute yourselves so that we don't get a lot of background noise.
Okay.
And but you can continue to watch the chats, and I'll start the slideshow. Yeah, Simeon is not going to be able to, or maybe it was Robert who wouldn't be able to meet us till 6, but we can look in the participants file and see who's here. I'm going to slide this down. Okay. Oops.
Is this is the first one?
Yes. Let's see who is.
Can we view it while we're on? I can't see it.
Oh, you can't see. Oh, did I?
No.
Oh, I stopped sharing, I guess. There we go. Can you see it now?
Now. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So Simeon, if you're in the audience, raise your hand if you'd like to talk a little bit about your piece.
Robert is here, Simeon later.
Okay, so Robert will be able to speak later, and when Simeon comes in, we can find him and we can come back to this piece. I'll move on. These are his.
Is this the first one?
Yes.
Let's see.
This is Selma Anderson. I don't see her.
Okay, this is Grass Dance, right?
Yes.
Is she on?
I don't see her in the attendees. So we'll keep on going.
And this one is Sarah Cummings, Portland.
Okay. And I don't see Sarah in the attendees, so we'll keep going.
And so this one, is this Diana Ferenz, Old Ways?
It is, and she also is not in the attendees, so.
And then she had another one, which was La Vie Tranquille. That's this one.
Okay. She's not here, so.
I love this bridge.
Yes,
Barbara Good, St. John Bridge.
yes. This is definitely a Portland icon. Leo, why don't you share with us about this one?
This one is one that I did, and the following one is kind of a pair with the two, and this is my literal interpretation of where I am from, my parents, and not only that, but my name is derived from both of their names. They're titled Leonard and Leona. My my name comes from them, from both of them. They took the first part of their names to make my name, Leonard and Leona. These are taken from photographs when they were, probably in their 20s. My dad was in the military, World War II. My mom was picture was before they were married. She was in her 20s. They're both deceased now, but I did these portraits in remembrance of them. So this is literally who I am from, where I am from, is these portraits. And normally hang in my living room.
Oh, that's really sweet, Leo. And I can see a resemblance with your dad. He's got his chin and mouth, I think.
Yeah. And this one is more place of where I'm from, Southern California. And this reflects the culture of surfing. That was a part of my young age and through high school, since I lived on the coast just north of Malibu. So this reflects where I'm from, so Southern California, with the mountains and with the water, with the beach, the surfing. But also it reflects an art form that came out of the Southern California area, which is lowbrow art. I did a presentation for one of the committee meetings that we had, and this is kind of a cartoon form of art, lowbrow art, and so this is also reflected of the place that I come from, Southern California.
I love the colors on this, Leo. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, they're more primary kind of colors. And and this one again is Southern California, the Mel's Drive-In, and it also reflects the 50s, since I grew up in the 50s, and Elvis Presley was a part of that, and the drive-ins and the car hops and stuff, that was a part of my childhood. So this reflects, childhood in the 50s. So that's also where I'm from.
Cool. Great. Thanks. And Gail, this is yours, isn't it? Now you're unmuted.
It,
that work? No.
Entitled Wishing Well.
Yeah, did that work? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is very representative of my family. This wishing well was one that my dad made sometime after I left home, but all of the rocks were things that my mom had gotten during our family vacations. And he got tired of stumbling over them and built a wishing well from those. So it kind of represents my parents and my home, and also some of the craftsmanship that's in my background. My dad built things and gardened, and my mom did a lot of crochet, and they contributed a lot to my interest in doing that kind of thing. And the next one.
Oh, go ahead. Did you want to say more?
No, that's fine.
Oh, well, thanks for sharing that. That's so interesting to hear. And it's a lovely piece. And it's really fun to know that this it came from and what it means to you. So thanks so much for entering it and for sharing that information with us.
Yeah, well, it shows up again in the next one if it's there. Yes, there it is down in the lower left corner.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
where I started from. And I called this Bits and Pieces. I was inspired by this subject. And I was interpreting it completely differently, that where I'm from as an artist and it comes from my family and the environment that I was in. But as an artist, I come from all those bits and pieces that came from some really bad paintings that I did. I was actually in the process of cleaning out and throwing away paintings, and I picked out little bits and pieces that actually worked. And that's where I come from. A lot of work and a lot of not so good paintings.
Oh, well, thanks for sharing that. And you know what? Your interpretation is just as valid and just as interesting as somebody else's. So I love this piece. It's colorful and it's really kind of fun. So thank you. And we'll move on.
Peter Lewis, Hard Day's Work.
Yeah, that's a nice piece. Peter's not here though, so that's too bad. We'll go. And Juan's not here either, which is really a shame. This piece was actually not done by her, but done by one of her students of her. And then the student gave it to her. And if you guys notice, the artist actually purchased a shirt like the one that she would often wear in class. And they put it on the cardboard and then put some tools in the pocket. And I think when she told me that when one of the students saw this, they said to her, "Did you give that shirt to the artist?" And she's like, no, he just bought one that was like it. So, but it's such a nice testament, I think. And it definitely looks like her. She's one of our,
Noel Mason.
It's too bad that they're not able to join us tonight. I know she said she was slammed because she's working and teaching school again this year. She's one of our committee members who's an art teacher at Gresham High School. So maybe she'll pop in. Okay, let's move on. Oh, and this is another one of our members who's unfortunately is also an art teacher and unfortunately not with us, which is too bad.
This is Mel Lindsay's Oregon Coast.
Yeah, let's see. I don't see Mel. Nope. Yeah, my guess is these are our family members, but that's just a guess.
This is Mel Lindsay as well, Tide Pool #1 in Foster, Maine.
Is this Tide Pool #2?
This the second one, yes. Tide Pool #2, coast of Maine.
I like that. And this is, it looks like it's based on paper.
And this is Mel Lindsay, Anne and Luca. Or Lula. I can't read my own writing.
Okay.
J.C. Marriott, The Land.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of a map or something.
This is Christian Bauer Oriano, Vitiligo Piece. I didn't notice until I read the title what it was. I noticed the picture and I thought that was just a creative way to do the hand, but then I read the title.
Yeah.
And noticed vitiligo.
Right.
And this one is again Christian, who the title Jesus Was Brown.
Yes. A lot of detail in this one.
It's kind of like a Andy Warhol, repetition of prints.
Yeah, that probably, you're right, probably right. Yeah. This is really clever.
This one is, See if I got my numbers right here. Is this the El Papas? Human Nature? Is that it?
I think so.
Okay.
Let me hang on. We can find out because I'll just go back to the. Yep, Human Nature.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah, I like that, and I
this
love
one,
this one.
El Papas, Curiosity, a self-portrait.
The colors are great in this one. Denise, yeah, share a little bit about these.
That's me. It's a mosaic with linoleum and cove molding, so it's not stone. And it was just an experiment about dimension. If you weren't thinking of something as all flat, if you could only see the piece of it that was presented toward you. So the tree wraps all the way around this styrofoam cube. It's meant to be picked up and turned and looked at all sides. Obviously, we can't do that.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Thank you. How about this one? This is really fascinating.
Well, that was partially kind of an experiment and thinking about the distance that's always between everybody, however close they seem to be. There's always that little distance. And I was curious with the clay whether I could do that. Could I make two forms that would fit together like that? And when they fired and everything shrank down, would they still fit? And it came out pretty good. So.
Yeah, I like that. It reminds me of like two peas in a pod.
And the piece of wood was one I found out at the river and dried it out and cleaned it up and coated it, sealed it, and mounted the pieces on there.
Leo, did you have a comment?
No, that's a nice piece.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. And one more.
And that one is, well, I almost felt like it was plagiarism. I mean, I found the stick out at the river and it was just so beautiful, just in and of itself. It was just a beautiful thing. And from here, we really can't see, the grain of it and the way the water has twisted it and shaped it and smoothed it. So I wanted some way to call attention to it so that people would look at the stick, but it felt like plagiarism. The art was already done by the river and the sun and the tree. It didn't really need me, but that was an experiment with trying to call attention to something that most of the time we would just walk right past.
Well, I like that. And even though the river and the sun did some of the work, you did the final piece by bringing it alive to us. So thank you for that.
A lot of art is like that, where they take something common and by how they put it in a different context, you notice it. I mean, even like photographs are taking a moment of something that's very normal, but the way it's arranged and put in place, it gives you a new perspective on something very common.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is colorful. Leo, who's this?
This is Hans Rudolph, and the first piece is Bloom.
Okay. I don't see Hans here. Like we have, okay. And this one?
And this was entitled Tangle.
Okay. Oh, you know what? It looks like Christian came in. So let's go back to those two pieces that we went by. Hello. Let's see. Did I
Hi, how's it
unmute
going?
you?
Can you hear me?
Good. Yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Okay, thanks for coming. This is your piece, right?
Yeah, this is mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry if you can't see me. I'm don't use Zoom that often, so I'm still trying to figure out how all that works. But I can talk
Actually,
about.
that's okay. We can't see you because everyone's just looking at the piece. But share
Okay,
a
cool,
little bit of
perfect.
information
Awesome.
about this.
Okay,
Yeah,
rad, yeah,
we'd like
awesome.
to hear. Thanks.
Yeah, so the piece is pretty self-explanatory. I was raised religious in the Lutheran branch of Christianity, but there's two branches. One of them is a little more open than the other one. I was raised in the one that was a little less open, quote unquote. So like there was kind of a dissonance for me as I was being raised in that religion over time. Like I would ask questions, I would get kind of unsatisfactory answers. And I'm also not a morning person, so really didn't like waking up for church on Sundays. But that was a little bit more of a personality thing than any critique of the religion itself. And over time, I kind of developed more and more like pulling away from the religion slowly. No, if anyone here is part of that religious sect, that's okay. I respect your choice. I'm not, trying to critique anyone's decision. That's just like my personal, like where this piece came from, basically. Yeah, and then as I got older, I started to realize that a lot of the depictions of Jesus that are shown, like that I'd ever seen actually pretty much anywhere, were always white, which to me is unfathomably impactful. I feel like I still haven't figured out how to like put it into words how big of an issue that is, because he's kind of like, especially if you're religious, like he is considered to be like the savior of like humanity, and the fact that he's like a white man depicted often, to me, was a problem. Also because historically speaking, like the area that he came from was most likely not white. I mean, we don't know for sure because no one actually, there weren't any pictures from back then, but this piece is kind of like a reclamation of that character, of that religious figure, really important, influential figure, back into like the POC community, any community that is not white, essentially. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Anything else, or should we go on to your next piece?
You can go to the next one. Yeah, that's pretty much everything about that one. Yeah. Yeah, this one's called, the other one was called Jesus Was Brown, so it's like pretty self-explanatory, pretty self-explained. This one's called Vitiligo Peace, or The Next 3 Decades or So. And this one is a reference to both, I think most people probably know what vitiligo is. It's a skin condition, but for those that don't, if anyone doesn't, it's a skin condition where you start to lose the pigmentation in your skin over time. Which can be kind of difficult psychologically if you have darker skin. If you're lighter skinned, it's not as difficult, but I think it is probably still have some psychological impact because you probably still notice it, And it's a reference to that skin disease, and it's also a reference to the statistic that the United States demographics are slowly changing. A lot of projections kind of put us at like minority as a minority white country within the next 3 decades or so, sometime within the next 3 decades, and it could be longer, it could be shorter. Like it's all conjecture, so it's not, no one can say for sure, but there's a reference to those two. I thought there was kind of an interesting relationship between those two statistics, because when you're going through vitiligo, you're kind of trying to come to terms with this erasure of your identity, because we live in a racialized society. So people often attach some amount of their identity to their skin color, unfortunately. But here we are, and that kind of has the same effect, I think, on the United States as we change demographics, because we kind of end up changing our culture a little bit because we live in a racialized society. As the demographics become less white, I think that's why we're feeling a lot of the like big changes and big culture political things that we're going through today. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. I hope I explained that well. That's kind of what it does, the reference to. Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you. Actually, you did a beautiful job of explaining that. And I think that, yeah, it really makes a lot of sense. So thank you so much. And I'm so glad that you were able to join us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Okay. I'm going to mute you now, and I'm going to go down to, I see somebody who's in as MFX 92000. I'm going to unmute you for a minute. And are you an artist? do you have a piece that's entered in the show? And if so, would you like to talk about it when we get to it, or if we've passed it? Oh, you have to unmute yourself. So are you an artist? Because I don't have your name here. I just have MFX 9200. So would you like to share a little bit if you're an artist and we can pull your piece up? No? Okay, that's fine. You don't have to speak. I'll mute you again. Thank you.
No microphone.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll move on. Let's see, where were we? Oh, we were Hans Rudolph. We looked at this one. I don't think we saw this one yet. Oops. This is a lovely color. Leo, what's the name of this one?
This one's Primary,
Okay.
again by Hans Rudolph.
Has a lot of
Okay.
depth and color. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And this one is Hans Rudolph Flora.
Nice. Okay. I don't see Michael on here. This is Michael Schuster. And I don't see him as one of our attendees. So, Leo, do you want to read the name of this one?
Oh, let's see. I'm so out of order. I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, I know this is Michael Schuster, and it's like Lamplight or something.
I don't see him on my list.
Oh, he was at the very bottom. Okay, we'll move on. And this also is Michael Schuster. This is the one he named Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yeah. But I thought I had that one.
Yeah. These
This
are collages.
Looks like a little bit of multimedia.
Yes. Yeah. He uses all sorts of different pieces of paper.
Oh, yes, I do have that one. And Waiting for Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay, thank you.
The other one was Lantern Light.
Oh, okay, Lantern Light, yeah. And then this one. I think this is one.
This is the last one you put on?
This was on the bottom. Oh, do we need to go back out and look? I know this
Yeah,
is
I can't remember.
Oh, Pieces of Me
Okay.
by Tamia Robinson, The Pieces of Me. And I think this is a multimedia also, if I remember correctly. It looks like the sweater is kind of laid on top of the paper. And I think these are different items.
Barb,
Yes?
this is Juan.
Hi, welcome.
May I speak to this piece since my student is not here?
Yes.
It's a beautiful piece. It was a lot of fun for her. It was inspired by actually the same theme as this show, Where I'm From. And so they were supposed to create a piece that reflect their heritage in any way they chose. And she chose to they were not allowed to just do a traditional piece. They had to do a mixed media piece. And this was what she came up with. And it was quite fun to watch her thought process. She didn't have any premeditated idea of how she was going to put what together. And so it was really cool to watch her do that in that process. And this thing that looked like a zipper It's actually an old strip of negative. Remember, those of us who are
Oh,
old enough to know dark room
yes.
film.
Yeah.
When the school photo lab closed, I inherited a ginormous box of just old film. And so the kids just been using that for whatever thing. And so she cut it and put it on there to make it look like the zipper. And this is actually an old baby blanket
Oh,
that she cut out and took the edge of the blanket to create the edge of her sweatshirt. And
wow.
this looked like embroidery, but she really just used a Sharpie on it, which is quite well done. And those are the things that her family enjoy doing together. Things that represent her dad, things that represent her mom, and things that represent where they came from. And this is what they